righty, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Patterson Report podcast. Possibly for the first time in podcast history, truly and actually going off at 9 p.m. on a Thursday night. We're generally more in the 9-ish category, so clap it up for that.
Usually me. I showed up this time.
Ryan was locked in. So no, we're off to a hot start. So as with every week, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. And the reason I'm pointing down for Ryan is that we are joined by a very, very special guest who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. You know him from Fireside Nets, Spenny Sandwiches, Cinema Bros, and White Boy Quarterly called him this generation's Brian Scalabrine. Everybody please welcome Spen Harris.
It's pretty high praise that they called me that. And what was it? White Quarterly?
It was White Boy Quarterly.
White Boy Quarterly, yeah. Great introduction. Fireside Nets, actually, we changed our name. We're Spenny and the Nets now. But excited to be here, guys.
Yeah, I forgot we're off on a solo venture. Fortunately, in the episode, I did tag your personal, so I didn't send any business Fireside's way. I'm not sure if that ended amicably or not, but we're not sending any views to the former partner.
Here's the problem, Brandon and Ryan. Fireside Nets was getting confused with Fireside Chats, so people would listen thinking they were going to hear some
educated people.
Yeah, and we were just talking Brooklyn Nets basketball. People got upset. I had to change the name.
No, so how's the climate nowadays? Cam Thomas for 50.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if you're turning in for breaking news or well thought out Teddy Roosevelt-esque topics, you are going to be quite surprised talking to the namesake for the number 32 sandwich at Family Affair Deli.
Thank you. For those who don't know, the Spen Harris, it's chicken cutlet, mortadella, chili pepper, arugula, and fresh mozzarella. You can get that at a Family Affair in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Number 32, the Spen Harris.
Shout out a Family Affair. Shout out local delis. And it pains me to say this week in particular, shout out Northern New Jersey, because they're not a New York team. They don't play in the city. But it felt only right to have Spen on in this episode in particular because Nets Sixers doesn't mean anything anymore, and it probably won't for a while. I didn't think that Eagles Giants were going to mean anything, and unfortunately, it looks like it might. On a heartbreaking week for Philadelphia sports, the Eagles really kicked it off. Well, they followed the Phillies in heartbreaking fashion and managed to drop a divisional game to the Giants in something that I don't think Giants fans themselves saw coming. Spen, you can correct me on that one. But we got new quarterback, fourth-round running back, kind of taking it to the league and taking the league by storm. Talk me through, before we get onto the field, talk to me about the vibes up there, because this almost feels like Tommy Cutlets, but with talent.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest with you. I think everybody was buzzing hard after that Chargers win in Jackson Dart's first start. But I think that, Giants fans, we've had a long time of just bad football, specifically bad quarterback play. You can blame the coaches. You can blame the quarterback. I tend to blame it both. But it's been a while since, there was hope around this organization. And after that Chargers win, Giants fans got a little excited. Not too excited, but a little excited. You beat a good Chargers team at home. You go and you lose that trap game to the Saints in New Orleans. I get it. Spencer Rattler, Saints get their first win. Dart makes a few mistakes. And then we get this game on Thursday night in the Meadowlands. This is a kind of like, how's Jackson Dart going to look? Are we going to get the guy we saw against the Chargers? Are we going to get the guy we saw against the Saints? And what's the vibes going to be like with this team? They exceeded expectations. They beat – can I curse on this podcast?
Absolutely. This is still America.
They beat the fucking piss out of the Philadelphia Eagles. Defense, Brian Burns, MVP candidate, led the way and just made life miserable for Jalen Hurts. On the offensive end, Jackson Dart just did anything he fucking wanted. Whether it was throwing darts to Robinson, Lil Jordan Humphrey. I mean, I had to think because the Giants had virtually no receivers for this game. No Malik Neighbors. Darius Slayton did not play in this one. Yet the Giants found a way to score 34 points. And it was largely in part due to Jackson Dart. And then we got to bring up the newest fan favorite, Cam Scatterbo. Now, I don't know if this guy is going to live past the age of 45, but God damn it, he is a fun football player to watch. And, that was his coming out party as much as it was Jackson Dart. So I'll stop there.
Look, he doesn't need to live much past 45 because he's going to cement himself as a legend within the next couple of years if he hasn't already. I'm sure you've seen the clips of him back even at Arizona State before that playoff run where he got famous. There's that clip of him running into a wall, I guess, just to simulate contact before a game. I don't know. Someone posted a picture that someone got a hold of his college essays. Not a whole lot going on upstairs. Again, doesn't need to. I was watching, I believe it was that Saints game when he flattened an O-lineman just out of sheer determination. Look, we're going to get to the sadness that is the Eagles in a second, and I am not a Giant fan. I'm designed to hate you guys. Recently not even recognized you're there. I will say, dating back even to Arizona State, it is a joy to watch him play football. He has real Bobby Boucher energy.
Yeah, it's funny you say Bobby Boucher energy because when I watch him play, I find myself screaming "Scatabo!" like kind of an Adam Sandler-esque type deal. But Philly, Brandon, I'll tell you this, and Cam Scatabo might not be the most talented running back in the league. Okay, I don't think he has 1/4 of the talent that a guy like Saquon Barkley has as a running back, but he is fearless. He is willing to put his body on the line to help the team win, whether it's pancaking an offensive lineman, whether it's trying to run through every single defender. I saw some funny videos of people pretending to be him, and they'll just find a defender. That defender will be running away, and they'll go to truck that defender.
We'll chase after him.
Just chase after him. So he's a nutcase, but you got to love it. I mean, listen, not going to brag. I am Facebook friends with his dad, Leo Scatterbo, and I might have sent him a message or two. Not gonna brag here, but no, he's been really fun to watch. And then, I just want to bring back Jackson Dart. Just here's what I want to say about him. The Giants. I'm going to read you guys, and I got this in part of my take, but I wrote it down anyway. Here are the quarterbacks since Eli Manning to take snaps for the New York Giants: Geno Smith, Davis Webb, Colt McCoy, Mike Glennon, Jake Fromm, Tyrod Taylor, Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, and Russell Wilson. This is the first time in about 15 years since the Giants, 10 years, since the Giants have had a quarterback with swagger, with energy. He's likable. Did you guys see, let me ask you this. Did you see him launch himself into the defender instead of going out of bounds? Who the fuck does that?
A prime Carson Wentz before his body failed him.
And I don't like that comparison, but I just, these guys have me ready to run through a brick wall. So yeah, I know we got to get to the Eagles. This is a Philadelphia podcast, but I just wanted to pose a question to both you guys real quick. Are the Giants back?
I'll see. Here's the thing. So Ryan's going to answer this statistically, so I'm going to give him a second to put his thoughts together.
I have my answer. I'm ready.
The Giants are not back on the football field. I think they're going to be more competitive this year than they have been in quite a while. I don't think they're back as far as look out of the NFC East. Here comes the Giants. What I will say, though, the Giants are culturally back. You are more relevant in the NFL football storyline landscape for good reasons than you have been in a long, long, long time. You have two young stars in the making who people are excited to watch. You have a fan favorite. The vibes of the team are up for the first time in the Daboll Shane era. So culturally, you're back relevant. On the field, you're heading in the right direction, but not this season.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you. I mean, they're getting there, and they're obviously going to put any team they play on upset watch this season. It feels like they've got the Chargers, they've got the Eagles already. So, any game they could win. I just think they're one more draft class away. They need a little bit more up front in the offensive line, and this isn't the draft class to do that. But I think one more draft class, Malik Neighbors coming back. I think next year might be the year where they've in contention for a wild card spot.
I think those are fair assessments. I'd have to disagree and tell you guys that you're both wrong. This Giants team is back, and they're going to put every team they play on upset watch. They're going to be the favorites in some games. Cam Scatterboom made Zadarius Smith retire.
That's a good point.
So I don't know. I mean, look, they are a receiver away from being an actual threat in the NFC East. I do fully believe that. I am hearing, by the way, I don't know what you guys are seeing in the social media world. I am hearing the Giants and the Dolphins are in talks about a potential deal for Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I've seen that floated a couple places. I haven't seen. There are names that you look for on Twitter where you go, okay, this is kind of real. I haven't seen those names get behind it yet, but I've seen it floated.
Yeah, no, so Art Stapleton had on, I think it was Benjamin Albright on his podcast, and Albright was the one who said he's been hearing the Giants and Dolphins are talking, and Jalen Waddle is the big name. But yeah, the other names, Ja'Cory Myers, you've heard out there. There's one I'm missing. Ja'Cory Myers, Jalen Waddle.
Shaheed.
Yeah, Shaheed's another one. And then there's the third one, though. Oh, Olave.
Both the Saints guys could go.
Both the Saints guys. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for the Giants to keep winning games with Wan'Dale Robinson, Lil Jordan Humphrey, who, by the way, has my favorite name in the NFL. Lil Jordan is his first name. Incredible. But, yeah, this team's just got me fucking amped. I mean – this is the first time as a Giants fan I don't dread Sundays. Like, I actually look forward to Giants football, and I haven't said that in a long time.
I'm glad you found your joy. I am not glad that it is our expense. But with that said, I do think it's time to get into the Eagles and our side of this game. But in order to do that, just need to bear with me for 1 second.
Fair play. It was a rough. We didn't even do a show last week because that's how bad it was.
Yeah, Thursday was so depressing. Ryan and I texted each other. We were like, well, so we laid it out beforehand, and we thought we were like completely kidding. I was like, look, if we don't get a show off by 9:30, we're not doing one. Like, it's Thursday night. Work, whatever. We just didn't feel like it. And Ryan pointed out, I was like, well, look, with the time frame, dude, that would be like, a Phillies extra inning loss and an Eagles loss. Like, what are the odds that happens? And then the 11th inning happened, and the Phillies lost, and then we both were like, fuck this, I can't do it. The Eagles only made that worse.
Do you guys know how good of content that would have been, though, if you just both come on super depressed and just look at each other and it's like, I hate life. How about you? Yeah, my life sucks. What do you want to do? Literally cry about it.
It crossed both of our minds, the content side of it. There is like a level to where if you get to that point where you're like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe this fucking happened. This sucks. Then there's like, you can go past that to where you just don't have it in yourself to talk to anybody. And that was how that went. And we'll get to the more painful part of that later, which is definitely the Phillies loss. But
Oh
the Eagles didn't hurt us. We were just numb at that point.
I was already dead. Yeah, you can't kill somebody already dead. Stop.
You're like, let me flip over to the Eagles game to feel better about myself. Oh, fuck.
Oh, no. I went to bed. I turned it on, saw the score, and I went to bed.
Oh, I just stared at the TV the whole time with just a blank expression on my face. I'm like, they can't hurt me anymore.
And ironically enough, one of the guys from watching that game that hurt me the most was by way of East Rutherford, New Jersey. So thank you dearly for Adoree Jackson. You guys had to be sitting back going, I cannot believe somebody fell for this. And it would have been us. Howie is the undisputed champ of GMs. He misses so rarely. God damn, when he does, though, they are big swings and they are big misses. And Adoree Jackson might be the worst Eagles corner I can remember since Nnamdi Asomugha.
Wasn't Byron Maxwell in between both of them?
Yeah, he was also pretty ass.
Had to throw that one out there. There's a couple names that are, oof. But man, I don't know what to think after this game. I mean, I think it's going to be a beating in Minnesota. I don't know how the Vikings are underdogs against the Eagles.
Did you see the clip? Somebody tweeted the picture of Michael Jackett getting lit up for like 7 of 8 receptions for 200 yards, and because Adoree Jackson's going to have Justin Jefferson 1-on-1.
I think Quinyon plays. I think he does.
We're going to need to put him out there in a wheelchair because, to Spence's point, I mean, we just got our lunch money taken by little Jordan Humphrey. I mean, Justin Jefferson is going to bend us over a table.
Oh, Justin Jefferson's my most drafted player on Underdog this week for this weekend's game. So, like, I see it coming. It's one of those things where I don't know what to do. But Kevin Patullo, man, I gave him a lot of grace over these past couple of weeks, even though I'm the pessimistic one on this podcast. Man, oh man, what are we doing?
Dude, he is like BBL level ass cheeks. Like it is really, really bad. I'm interested to hear because you and I both watch the game from an Eagles perspective. Spence, watching it from a Giants perspective, there's been a lot of talk nationally about how the Eagles are telegraphing their plays, how other teams, know what's coming next. You don't watch a lot of Eagles football. Were you able to pick up on a trend when you were watching the game from a Giants perspective on, oh, this is predictable, or oh, they're going to do this next, or anything like that?
Not necessarily. It was a weird game because the way it started, I think everyone, and I saw Dave Rothenberg, who is an ESPN radio host, he put out a TikTok video basically screaming to fans, bet the over on Saquon Barkley's yards. He's absolutely going to demolish the Giants. He's going to run for 200, The game starts and Saquon runs for like 31 yards and 2 carries. And you're kind of like, oh shit, like this is going to be kind of a walk in the park for Philly. And then after that, the game just completely, if it was like a stock thing, a line graph, and it showed the Eagles percentage going up, it just went straight down for the rest of the game. For me, there's something wrong with, I guess maybe you guys are saying it's the offensive coordinator's fault. How much blame do you put on Jalen Hurts? It's just like the fact that he just got outplayed by Jackson Dart by a large margin. That's concerning to me.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally speaking, veteran quarterbacks have a lot more leeway at the line to where, after so many years in the league, you kind of have this playbook available to you and you'll audible into, A, B, and C or whatever. That's not been the Jalen Hurts experience for the most part. He's not been the type of quarterback who's going to command the game at the line and kind of call his own game. So he is at the mercy of his OC. Because you look back, Shane Steichen had him looking like an MVP. Then you bring in Brian Johnson, who is a horrible coordinator. Jalen Hurts' production falls off a cliff. Bounce back last year, Kellen Moore. He's an inventive, creative OC. Obviously, Jalen looks great doing the Super Bowl. Come back again this year, lackluster OC, lackluster Jalen. So your point would stand to be true for a lot of veteran quarterbacks. And you could argue this is a knock on Jalen. Maybe he should have more control over the playbook. That's definitely an argument to be made. But the way that they've run the offense throughout his whole career is he runs the play that is called for the most part. And the plays that have been called are horrible. And the routes that have been called are terrible. If you look at Devontae Smith's route tree, it's depressing. And you look at the division, and Dallas is doing a great job of getting George Pickens open, even though he's the only option. Then you look back and see, Devontae's running all these little fade routes to nowhere, and you're not surprised why Jalen has nowhere to go with the ball because there's nothing inventive going on the offensive side.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just going to throw in a few stats here. Jalen's not playing the greatest, but he's also not getting any help. I just wanted to pull up my article that I wrote to make sure I got these numbers right. And the Eagles are 30th in play action and 28th in motion. Like, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, we're just lining up in the shotgun and going for it.
Yeah, all the time.
I think the first few weeks of the season, you guys are playing with fire. You were winning games, but not because of stellar offensive play. It was a special teams play here. It was a block punt there. Jalen Hurts I don't think he threw a pick until that Giants game, or had he?
Yeah, he definitely thrown a pick, I think.
He definitely thrown a pick? Anyway, I feel like the Giants hadn't gotten an interception in forever, but they were getting close. You guys were winning games. You were getting close to losing. And something just changed in that game. And the one thing I noticed, with all the A.J. Brown stuff and the press conferences, there's a connectivity that's missing with this team. And it's weird because they just came off the Super Bowl. I would think they would like each other for the most part, but it just feels like they don't.
Yeah, it was Chris Broussard was talking about it earlier. I think it was yesterday, and he brought up a really good point. And I'm a big Jalen Hurts supporter. I think Ryan and I both are for the most part. And you hear all this stuff about how great of a leader he is, and I think he is. I mean, he's shown that he can has that low heartbeat they talk about. He can play in big games. He can get the most out of his guys, etc. What's weird, though, and what I think you do have to hold him a little bit to account for is the fact that, like you said, how twice in 3 years does this team look like they hate each other? I mean, there's a Super Bowl year in there, which is awesome. But that year before, you were talking about, does AJ hate – it's the same storylines. Does AJ hate Jalen? Does the offense communicate with each other? Why isn't – and then you win a Super Bowl, and that year's great. And then the next year, you're right back to this – these reports are coming from somewhere. I'm not saying that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are mortal enemies. I think that's stupid. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jalen's A.J. Brown's son's godfather or whatever. But there is something to where your quarterback and your offensive weapons twice in 3 years now can't seem to understand each other, and that's bizarre.
Totally is. I mean,
but yeah,
it starts with the coaching, right? It starts up top.
Well, then that's the other thing. If Nick's not going to call plays or run the defense, then you're a vibes guy. If you're a vibes guy, I'm going to need higher vibes.
He's got 0-3. I don't know, man.
How do you guys fix it?
I mean, look, winning cures a lot. Let's not get it twisted. I think offensively, I don't think there is a fix. I think, unfortunately, this is who Kevin Patullo is. And it's another bad personnel choice by, I'm guessing that's Nick. I'm not sure who has the final say on that. So offensively, it's going to be a disjointed year. That's just what it's going to be. The question now becomes, are Jalen, AJ, Devontae, Nick, Patullo, etc., like mentally strong enough to go, all right, this is going to be an ugly year. We're not going to get the stats we're used to getting. Are we going to be able to trudge through this? Or are these flames going to keep getting higher and higher and the smoke signals getting worse and worse? Because I don't think the offense is going to magically turn over. I just don't think Kevin Patullo is a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and this is a year where no one looks like they're separating themselves from the pack. Buffalo looks not great. Kansas City might be turning the corner, but Detroit doesn't look good either. They just lost to Kansas City. So, there's no real contenders thus far this year. So, a lot of time turning around.
I will say that Dallas Goedert had a great game.
I don't know what it is with Patullo and those little, jet sweep pitch passes at the goal line. I don't know what happened there, but he has 5 touchdowns thus far.
In this game, he had 9 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. He had a really good game.
At least someone's benefiting from Patullo.
Yeah, it's just not the 2 guys we just paid handsomely. But
listen, I think you guys should just change your offense to feature Dallas Goedert more so than A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley and Devontae Smith. I think that'll work wonders for you.
We kind of already have. You pointed it out. I mean, he's lapping them in stats. That's kind of what we've already done is we've decided to, make him the focal point of the team, which, I mean, he's in a contract year, so I'm sure Dallas is loving it, but the team's suffering as a result.
Hey, is it ironic that Dallas Goedert plays in Philadelphia?
Yeah, actually a really great clip of that was David Akers that picked him, right?
Yeah.
Ryan? Yeah. It was in Dallas, to my understanding. And David Akers made the pick and kind of rubbed it in Dallas's face because they wanted him. We were like, in Jerry world, we're taking Dallas Goedert. Go fuck yourself, which was kind of great.
Okay.
But speaking of collapses of painful and epic proportion, we're only going to dedicate another 7 minutes or so to the Phillies because what hasn't already been said. Dave Dombrowski had a press conference today. in a perfect world, we would have had a whole episode to do that, but the Eagles also lost, so we kind of forced into this. We'll address those comments eventually. But this is just going to be, just reactionary. You're watching the game, you're seeing it happen, and it's like a car crash, and you can't look away. And I mean, I went to bed that night angry, and get these guys off my team. I've had it. I'm sick of this shit. I woke up devastated for the team, but also for Orion Kirkering. That's just your worst nightmare. Where a week removed now, where do you find yourself, Ryan?
See, it's funny. You got to go to bed after that. I got to watch the Eagles beat down after that. So I had worse. So I just think I do want to bring up one comment from the Dave Dombrowski, presser about Bryce Harper, where he says he's basically not elite anymore. That one went kind of under the radar a little bit from what I've been scrolling through. And man, oh man, I think I feel like I'm done with this era. I don't know about you. It's just
that did feel like a lightning rod a little bit. Like Dave is so frustrated that he's like, well, I don't know, Bryce, are you even good anymore? Which is like, holy shit, that I wouldn't have maybe taken that approach. I think Jimmy Rollins had a really good take. This era with this team needs to be over. I think the Phillies playing winning baseball, that window is still very open. They're built to continue to win baseball games. The important ones, who knows? Probably not. But this core needs to change. Bryce and Trey, you can't. You're stuck with those two. Same goes for Wheeler and Nola. Everybody else who is movable, I think, is on the table. The only guy who I'm sitting here pounding the table like we need to bring back is JT, just because there simply isn't a plan B. But I'm reevaluating everything. Does it make fiscal sense to give Kyle Schwarber $150 million right now? At one point I would have said, absolutely, that's a bargain. I'm not sure at the moment. Not because he didn't play well in the playoffs, he didn't. But it's also like you need so much help. Is giving one DH $150 million the most prudent way to spend that money? At one point, it would have been a no-brainer. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd do it, but that lockout is coming. It's happening. There might not be baseball in 2027. I believe it's the lockout. So you can get one more after this. I think, especially with the Dodgers doing what they're doing right now, they're starting pitchers in the first two games through 18 innings. I think a lockout's coming. There's a lot of pressure, and it's going to be interesting to see how Dave spends this money in this offseason, because not a lot of owners are going to be shelling out that cash knowing that, hey, we're probably not going to have a season in 2 years. So it'll be interesting to see how this offseason's managed.
Well, he committed in the press conference. I got to watch it almost in its entirety. He put his money where his mouth is. He said the payroll year to year will remain the same. He's the first owner to say that's the case. So I believe the Philly payroll was mid 300 millions this year. He has said that he's committed to spending that amount of money again in 2026. Which is, look, the Phillies make me angry. Everybody, I think, this year kind of shit themselves and blew it. I love our owner because it is not an investment for John Middleton. He makes horrible business decisions in the interest of making this team better, and that is the perfect owner, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're going to have a lot of money to spend this offseason. We'll see how it goes. It's, man, oh, man. I don't know what to say. There's not much to say even a week after that. Such a disappointing loss. I'm glad they have a support system for Ryan Kirkering, because obviously that's a really big loss.
Yeah, that was worth bringing up. And I'm glad that they kind of did. It's not just like, oh, hey, we hope Orion's going to be all right. No, that dude on national television lost one of the most intense sports cities, ironically enough, probably right up there with New York. Lost them the series, and there's no other way to look at it. So I'm glad that they went beyond just, oh, he'll be fine. And from what it sounded like, they have a team. They brought in people to help Orion Kirkering, which is 1,000% necessary, because I can't imagine what that dude went through.
Look, in the moment, I felt very different about it. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, I was very not happy, but when you zoom out and you realize, okay, hey,
That's a person.
that was a high pressure spot he shouldn't have been in because the bat should have hit the ball. It was, what was it, 1-1 at that point?
Yeah.
I mean,
wait, yes, you're right.
It was 1-1, and then so he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with because the bat should have gotten him out of there. And like you think about it, like hopefully he repairs and comes back good as new. I hope CBP gives him a standing ovation, doesn't boo him out of the building in his first appearance next year, which could very well be the case.
And that's always a toss-up. Which CBP you're going to get, which Phillies fans are going to get, but we'll see. So we'll dedicate much more time down the road, to the Phillies rebuild. But while we had Spence here, I felt only right to do 2/3 Eagles Giants. I'm glad we did. It had been a long time we had to talk sports. For those probably one or two of you, I hope, who have been following along for long enough. Before there was Brandon and Ryan on the passing report, there was Philly, Brandon, and Spence on 2 hours, no traffic. So it was great to have you back on the pod and get to chop it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you guys, Ryan and Brandon for having me on. Can I say two final things?
Sure.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to say is look, like Eagles fans, Philadelphia Eagles, you guys have had the last 10 years in the NFC East, okay? You got your 2 championships, round of applause. Like you got Big Dick Nick, you got Jalen Hurts, you got our starting running back came over and won a Super Bowl. We all get it. These next 15, 20 years are Jackson Dart. Okay, the NFC East is going to run through New York. It's coming, all right? It's inevitable. This is Thanos getting all the rings, and just the Giants are going to be a juggernaut. I'm sorry, Eagles fans. Again, I'm glad you had a nice little decade there, but before that, the Giants had 2 in 07 and 11, and we're about to get 100 more. So that's the one thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
But, you want me to share?
I mean, you had to, so sure.
What'd you say?
I said once they get an offensive line, sure.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas.
They have everything else. They have everything else. Maybe a corner, a star corner you guys need, but then you're there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, yeah. And the second thing, I mean, this is probably a crazy take, and I hope I'm not out of bounds here. Maybe that pitcher should have just threw to first base.
I mean, the streets are saying that first base might have been the correct play.
Probably the smart play in that situation.
Streets were me 3 seconds after it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it going, don't go first. Ah, fuck.
I saw JT point and the ball just sailed over his head. I couldn't believe it.
It was like watching a car crash.
I'm not a baseball guy, just a hot take, but maybe next time throw to first.
Yeah, we'll make sure to get that message to Orion. But before we wrap it up, Spence, you're on a whole bunch of different things, different pods, different accounts. Where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, just follow me at Spen Harris on Twitter. That is my personal, and it's my podcast. Everything's running out of there. Spenny and the Nets on YouTube. Check it out. Subscribe to the pod. We're getting back after it this season. We got a lot of good episodes coming out, some great guests, and you're not going to want to miss it. This Nets team is fun. They're young. They're probably going to be shit next year, but I'm going to be talking about them, so come join me.
Awesome. Well, you know where to find them. If you're ever up in North Jersey. You got to
plug the sandwich account. You can't see it.
Yeah, we can't forget to plug Spenny Sandwiches on Instagram.
And his TikTok.
And his TikTok. And his TikTok, yeah. So you can't forget Spenny Sanders.
I'm a man of very few talents, guys. Sports and sandwiches, that's kind of all I know.
That's the true North Jersey man. To the core. But until next time, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. He's Spen Harris. For tonight, we're the Passing Report. We'll see you next time.